Welcome to the game reviews where the score doesn't matter. Just like peer-to-peer servers. No matter however way you try to cut it, it's still a turd. But come be a part of the jury as we take Halo Wars 2 through gracious judgment. Halo Wars 2 is a real-time strategy game developed by 343 Industries and Creative Assembly for the Xbox One and PC for the price tag, of course, of $60. Story first. The game starts off where the last left off, kind of. There may have been some time that has passed, but I'm gonna let you figure out how much. This story goes balls to the wall from the very beginning, introducing you to the baddest beast that I have ever seen. It's just unfortunate that you never really get to fight him in the game. I don't remember the last time in a game the main baddie you don't get to fight. It was a little odd of a choice, but it is what it is. The story itself felt very well told. It had me hooked the whole time. Cutter's speech at the very beginning had me ready to go to battle in the nude, man. Yes, the Spirit of Fire crew is back, and cinematics are as good as ever. The ending is interesting and definitely set up for a third installment. Gameplay. Now the gameplay is generally the same as the first. It does bring a cleaner UI that's a lot easier to look at and a little better AI, but the AI still felt dumb at times, having to leave to go back to your base to build some units, only to come back to find infantry beating the crap out of your Scorpion while your ODST units are sitting there right beside it, just letting them beat the crap out of him, saying, "Screw that guy, he stole my lunch this morning." I did like how there were little quality of life things put in there that helps you just select 4 pre-made groups, helping it easier for you to just transition to assign units where you need them to go. It made controls in this game a lot easier, which is very, very difficult to do with a controller on an RTS. When it comes to controls, this was the easiest RTS I have ever played. I also really enjoyed the leader perks put into these games, because there is nothing more satisfying than sending an aerial strike down on hundreds of units, just watching them blow to absolute bits. The game has its rock, paper, scissors mechanics, having one unit stronger than another, but then another unit to counter the other strong unit. Everything has its own weakness, though with some unit upgrades, a lot of these can be negated. The map layout felt just great. Everything felt balanced and fair, especially in multiplayer. I never really felt like I was at a disadvantage depending on which place I was put on the map. The multiplayer modes in this game are pretty much your standard RTS game modes, except for 2. I really did like 2 of them where they try to mix it up and get a little fresh with it. First one, Rumble. It's you and your team versus the opponent, trying to build as fast as possible with unlimited resources, trying to take as many bases as you can. Then we come to the controversial Blitz. It's an objective-based game mode, kind of like a domination. You got 3 capture points, control 2 of the 3 for the majority of the time until you accumulate so many points, and you're going to win. There's no base building in the game, and all your units are acquired through cards, though you do have to have the resources to get them. You get the resources by acquiring them from the map by going and destroying them with your units, but my biggest issue with this game mode is being able to buy cards for some of the strongest units in the game with real money. You can go drop $100 before the game even officially releases, acquire all the cards that you're ever going to need, and you're going to blatantly have an advantage over the guy that doesn't want to do that and do it by actually playing the game, which is the way it should have freaking been done in the first place. Music, sound, and voice.
Pilot table, 10 o'clock.
Spartans, thank God. We have to get out of here.
Identify.
Isabel, UNSC Logistics, Arc Research Outpost.
Isabel, where are the survivors? What's the strength of the Covenant force here?
Covenant? No, why would... Listen, you're in incredible danger.
What was that?
It's him.
You're coming with us.
Fixing. All maneuvers.
Jackrabbit, ready to let loose, sir. This is more like it.
The music, honestly, well, it felt like Halo. If you like the past music in the Halo series, there's more chance than not you're gonna like this as well. And the sound effects of the game actually felt good as well. Every sound helping immersing you into the battlefield. Where I did have a few issues with the sound was the voice acting. But don't get me wrong, most of the voice acting is grade A, top-notch, award-winning voice acting. It's fantastic. It just falls short in other times with certain side characters where you just kind of stop caring. It's not believable. Though I did really like the subtle hints on the battlefield when your units are at a disadvantage, letting you know that they cannot win this fight. I really enjoyed that, and that did immerse me a lot. But really where the game fell in the voice acting, which is just a small fall, honestly, because the voice acting during the cinematics and everything else was so great, but during the briefing right before the mission didn't even sound like the original freaking person. It sounded like a completely different person voice acting the same character. Graphics and animations. On the Xbox at least, this game has some hard frame drops, sometimes making combat extremely frustrating when trying to transition and organize units. It had me a little raging at some points or another, but most of the time it did feel fine. The frame drops did seem rare, but when they happened, they were frustrating. Also, lack of texture detail brings graphic quality down, but all I can say is it does look better than the predecessor. Don't get me wrong though, it's not all bad. There are certain parts of the game that look great. The foliage, the trees, all that looks grand. But when it comes to rock faces, beaches, or even the characters themselves, the details just aren't there at all. The one thing I am pretty sure 100% of the population can agree on is we would like to see a movie of the Halo series with this type of cinematic quality. This was the most gorgeous cinematic I have seen in a long time. It looked spectacular. But that is all I have to say about it. If you do still have any questions, feel free to post them down in the comments below. I'm more than happy to answer them for you. And until next time, you all take care, have a good week, and always remember, game with grace.